All right. Good morning. Thanks so much for coming on this morning. It is Monday, June 13th. And today we're going to be talking about some of the different avenues of opportunity. For those of you who are not aware, we put together a final expense playbook. I would say toward the beginning of the year, one of our managers, Juan De La Vega, he spent a lot of time and put it together, and I kind of helped him a little bit with updating some things. So anyways, part of the playbook talks about different avenues of opportunity. And what we're talking about is just different ways of generating business outside of just working a lead. Juan kind of put it in our meeting. I'm not sure if he's on today or not, but we had a meeting in Salt Lake about a month or so ago. He talked about, like, if you take a hammer and you smash it against a piece of glass, you're going to get a really big, you're going to get a really big mark where you hit that piece of glass with the hammer. And his analogy was that that's kind of like the lead, but then everything else that kind of webs out from that one mark are the different avenues of opportunity. So the leads are basically what get us out into the field to see people. And then it's just kind of from there what we do after that. And I think by going through these different avenues of opportunity, it gives you so many different ways that you can generate additional business. And kind of like what I put in the email today, it could turn a good agent into a great agent just by doing a little bit extra. So that's what we're going to be kind of going through this morning. And feel free to stop me as I go along. If you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer those. And these are just a list of some of the important contacts at SNL. Myself, of course, feel free to reach out to me anytime you have any questions, if you need anything. Juan, who I mentioned, who was a big help with putting this playbook together. Juan is in Ohio and Pennsylvania, and he also, I know, does have a few people down in Florida. Travis, he's our career sales director out of Michigan. Also, I know he has a group out in Maryland. And then we have Brent Barlow, who is an agency director. He covers Indiana and a portion of Kentucky. And Sean Henderson is our guy in Wisconsin. So feel free, if you're in any of those areas and really anywhere throughout the country, feel free to reach out to me, and I can even direct you to a local manager if you do need some hands-on training and support. A little bit about me. I've been in the business now, final expense, for 19 years, since 2003. So going on a long time. I mean, the way I've done things, I guess it's always been maybe a little bit different. There's so many people out there I know that feel like you need to be contracted with 20 different companies that all do the same thing, and you need to do 30 different types of insurance to be successful. I've just kind of found that if you simplify things and you focus on one product and one company, as long as there's enough tools there to help you and support you, you can do really well. And that's kind of what I've done. I mean, I've always primarily been focused on one product and one company. My whole 19 years of the business, a couple different companies, but for the most part, just one company at a time. And again, as long as the product is good, the underwriting is good, you don't have to walk away from a lot of business. That's really the key. A company that's easy to do business with, that's important too. So I've been with us now since 2015. So it will actually be 7 years in September here. So boy, time really flies. I mean, when I started here, we had $650 million in assets, and now we have like close to 1.7 billion, I believe. So, I mean, we have almost tripled in size. I mean, I wouldn't say it's because of me. It's more because of all you guys. It's because of all the agents out there that are out there writing business, that are believing in what we're doing here. So thank you. We really do appreciate you all. And like I said, if there's anything you ever need, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Now, In those 7 years I've been here, I'm very proud to say that I have helped to generate close to $16 million in annualized premiums. So, a lot of that just has to do with recruiting and finding people. Like I said, finding people that believe in what we're preaching. So, I think we got a really good thing going here. And I think that it's only going to get better. Uh, we recently put together the career channel. So we have independent agents. We also have the career agents. And, one thing career agents, remember, this is very new. I mean, we've been testing it for about a year. It just really went live about maybe a month or so ago. So that's really all I have to say. It's very new, and I know in time it's only going to get better. So just be patient with it. I know we talked about the fact that in time, underwriting is going to loosen up a little bit on the career side, make it easier for you to write business. When we're financing you leads, well, you want to make sure you can do whatever you can to write that business with us. So, we're going to do what we can to help you when it comes to that. And I know there are some underwriting improvements that are planned for later on this year on the career side. You may have noticed career and independent agents that our height and weight chart recently loosened up a little bit. So, one of my managers, Travis, actually did some research, and he compared a whole bunch of different companies, and our company didn't realize that our height and weight chart was not very competitive. So now it's a whole lot better. So feel free, if you need to get into the portal and download a new rate sheet. That rate sheet will also have the height and weight chart in it. So check it out. And I think you'll agree that the changes have greatly improved on the height and weight, and it'll be easier for you to insure people, either maybe preferred or modified, people that maybe would have been modified or not even had qualified in the past. So now also, I'm an employee of the company, kind of a unique situation here. We do have managers that are employees of the company. So we do get paid a salary to do what we do. We are growing. I'm actually going to be training next week. We're bringing on a couple new managers down in Florida, and I'm still looking. I'm looking for a manager in South Carolina. So if anybody out there interested, let me know. I'd love to maybe sit down, talk, and see if you may be a candidate that we may consider. So, like I said, we're building, we're growing. The career side is very new, and I think the best time to get into something is when it's first starting, before it's built up. And that's kind of where we're at. There's plenty of room for growth. So if you're looking to build and grow, maybe simplify things a little bit, reach out to me, and I'd love to maybe have a conversation with you. My main duties: recruit, train, and mentor agents. Like I mentioned, I've been doing this a long time. One thing I'll tell you that I feel is very important in this business, especially if you're brand new, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. There's a lot of people out there now who've been doing this a long time that have kind of figured out what works and what doesn't. So just remember that. And maybe you're coming from a different type of insurance. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, final expense is just a little bit different. And we do have to do things a little bit differently. Sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Sometimes maybe you need to not be afraid to go up and knock on a door, where maybe in the past you would never even consider just stopping by somebody's home unannounced. Well, I'm telling you, it works in final expense. You could sit around all day and set up appointments and feel real good that you're going to have a real busy day the next day. And half your appointments may not be there when you get there the next day. That can be discouraging. So to me, I don't even call the leads. I take the leads, I put a route together, and I go straight to the door. I've been doing it that way for, I bet, almost the whole time I've been doing final expense, and it works. Like I said, I always kid around with agents, but it's kind of true. I think sometimes people will set up an appointment with you over the phone just so they know what time not to be home. So, just like I said, take that part out of the equation. Take the leads, put a route together, go straight to the door, and I think you'll have very good results. But that's just something, like I mentioned, something that maybe is a little bit different than other types of insurance. If I'm going to sell somebody an annuity, I'm probably not just going to show up at their home unannounced. But final expense, you can do that, and it works. And I'm still a producing agent. That's one thing I know a lot of my agents and managers that they like about me is they know that I know the business because I still go out and do it. I like to stay fresh. I like to stay up to date on everything that's going on out there. So I know how the business works. I've been doing it a long time. And like I said, there's really no reason to reinvent the wheel. Same thing with other members of our management team. A lot of years combined in final expense sales experience. And all of our managers still go out in the field and produce. So we'll get you in the car. We'll take you out. We'll work with you. We'll show you how it's done. And like I mentioned, all you got to do is be coachable, and we'll help you. And our goal is for you to have a long-term successful career in the final expense business. For additional training, check out my website, adambersan.com/training. And when you go on there, there's a whole bunch of videos. I actually need to get on there and update things a little bit. I'm going to maybe take some time this afternoon or tomorrow morning to do that. But I mean, everything is fairly current on there, but I would recommend if you're new, get on there and just watch the video step by step all the way down. And it'll definitely help you. It not only gets into product and underwriting, but it also gets into a lot of what we're going to talk about today, just different ways of selling and things that can help you get better. And same thing with my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, check it out, youtube.com/c/Adam Bersan. And not only company specific information on there, but a lot of good tips and tricks that can help you get better. Scroll through all of the videos on there, especially the ones that I did a few years ago when I was out in the field a lot more. I still get out in the field, but not as much as I used to. But when I was out there almost every day, I was posting videos every day, talking about how my day went, talking about different situations that I'd run into and how I overcame certain scenarios and objections. So check it out. And I think it'll definitely help you. And subscribe. And you subscribe, and as soon as I post a new video, you'll be notified, and you can check it out and watch it. So we're getting into the avenues of opportunity. And if any of our managers are on today, I'm going to take a look and see if any of them are on. Doesn't look like it, but if any of them decide to hop on, they can feel free to chime in if they'd like. Raise your hand and I can unmute you. So 50% of the population doesn't have any or enough insurance to pay for their funeral services. And 100% of the population is going to die someday. I mean, we all know that. I mean, we're not going to live forever. It's a proven fact that we come here, but it's someday we are going to pass away. 95% of the population SNL can insure. So there's not many people that you have to walk away from. So again, good company to do business with. And the fact that, and again, we talk about the people turning 65, that number just is growing and growing more and more every day. So that population of those people that really fit into our target market, I'm telling you, that's why, this business to me has really blown up over the last 15 years or so. I've been doing it almost 20. The first few years, it felt like there wasn't nearly as much competition, but over the last 10, 15 years, it's like every single company wants to get into final expense. They see the number of people that are falling into that category of needing final expense. People that are maybe between the ages of 50 and 90 with us, 50 and 90, and middle to low income, people that are just living on Social Security. And you know what? Think about it too. The fact that inflation is so high right now, gas prices are so high, food prices are so high, our money is not going nearly as far as it used to. And so more and more people are going to fit into the category of needing a final expense policy. So, always kind of look at the bright side of things. Yeah, things are kind of tough out there right now with gas prices and everything else, but that means that there's going to be a lot more people that are going to need our help. And even if they can't afford a whole lot, something's better than not having anything at all. So to be successful in the business, you need several avenues to get in front of those opportunities. And here are some, not all, but some that will help you grow your business. And I'm going to go through the list here. We may not get to all of them today. And if we don't, I will continue on next week. I don't want to be on, I'm sorry, but I don't want to be on for 2-3 hours today. I think we can knock out at least half, and then maybe next week we'll get into some more. But we'll talk about the A leads. Of course, like I mentioned, that's kind of what gets you out there. We'll talk a little bit about referrals. Referrals are free leads. Why not ask for free leads? New policy delivery and review. I'll talk to you a little bit about how that works and the success that our agents are having that are doing this. Looking for other opportunities. Our 3-foot rule. The nosy neighbor, current policyholders, group presentations and events, the door hangers. We'll talk a little bit about cold door knocking and also the car magnets that you can put on your car. Once you buy it, heck, it's like free advertisement all day, every day. You're driving around and you'll be surprised the people that will actually come up and even strike up a conversation with you. So you can literally write 5 policies a day from each of the different avenues of opportunity. And your goal is to become an expert in as many of these as possible. So let's go ahead and go through these. A leads, as I mentioned, that is like our main source of leads. Those are the leads that we are spending money for. Direct mail leads, internet leads. We're calling them digital leads. Our career agents have access to them currently. Facebook leads. Telemarketing leads, live transfers, even if you're doing telesales, would be considered an A lead. They're the building block for your business and the number one avenue of opportunity. I mean, they're really the lifeblood of the business. Without A leads, most agents wouldn't be able to work the other avenues. So as I mentioned, that's the lead that gets you out into the field. And it's consistent. You're always going to have those leads coming in as long as you're focusing on placing lead orders every week, or if you're a career agent and we're handling that part for you. And don't forget, the value of doing business with Security National Life is that you receive a 10% lead credit on every single piece of business that you write. Based off of the annualized premium of the policy. That doesn't matter if you're a career agent or an independent agent. Either way, you earn that lead credit. And again, where our money is not going as far as it used to, the way things are currently with gas and food and everything else, well, why not let a company back you up and assist you and help cover half the cost of your leads? So you write your business with us and your money's going to go a little bit further. The lead credit also never expires. There is a $4,000 maximum. However, the purpose of lead credit is not to sit around and collect it. It's to use it. When that lead credit comes in, I would say every single week, you need to be focusing on placing in a lead order. Now, you must also have 70% first year persistency to use it. So you do need to focus on keeping up with your business. And I think the company's pretty good about keeping up with your business. We do have late notices that go out, lapse notices. And on the late notices, if you go like into the agent portal, look into your late notices. If you notice a policy is over 30 days late, that means that you have 15 days to try to get a payment made for the client or set up a payment for the client. Once it hits that 45-day mark, it'll end up lapsing if that payment has not come out. So, but just a little tip for you there, just so you know. But yeah, it's important to keep up with your clients, and it's great to write that business and earn that first year commission. But I mean, it's no fun to pay chargebacks back. The great thing, our rates are pretty decent. Doesn't happen too often that we get our business replaced. Me personally, I've never had a policy replaced here in the 7 years that I've been here. So I feel like if you are consistently writing business, there's no reason your persistency should be anywhere near 70%. The only times I've seen it are those that are only writing, let's say you write 5 apps over the course of 3 months and 2 of them fall off. Well, then that's going to put you under 70. So, so that's really it. That, and sometimes the telesales. I've seen telesales have a lower persistency. And as we talked about last week a little bit, that's why it's so important to build good rapport and really get to make that client feel comfortable with yourself. So they don't end up hanging up the phone and sitting around thinking about it at night and going, boy, what did I just do? I can't believe I just handed out my social security number, my banking information to someone that I don't even know. So that's the last thing you want to happen. So build a good rapport and a good relationship with those clients over the phone, and try to keep up and keep in touch with those people. And it'll go a long way to improving that persistency over the phone. So you're able to use your lead credit to cover half the cost of your live transfers. I mean, that's important too. So now our career agents, they also receive lead financing to help pay for the lead costs. So there's no upfront cost for leads. They can still use their lead credit. So when you purchase leads, the lead account will be charged and have a balance. That balance is paid down as you write business. Now, 50% of your commission will go towards your lead balance until it's paid off. So, and when you're using lead credit, I would say all it takes about maybe 1 to 2 applications a week to clear your lead balance, and then you would see your full commissions coming in. So, but it is a nice advantage to being a career agent, is receiving that lead financing. People maybe that came from an opportunity where they were not making a lot of money. A lot of times people are looking for new opportunities because they're not making a lot of money where they're at. So sometimes it's hard to get started if you find a company that you want to do business with, but you don't have money for leads. So that's where I think the lead financing has a lot of value. So all you got to worry about is going out and working. And as you work, you'll get paid your commissions, and those commissions will be used to pay your leads down while you still see money coming in. You're still going to always see at least half, unless you have chargebacks. Now, that's the only time. If you have chargebacks, well, then you got to work on kind of digging yourself out of a hole a little bit. But in time, as long as you're consistently producing, that should not be an issue. And again, as it says here, this should be accomplished each week if you are writing new business, clearing that lead balance off every week. So we talked about the A leads, the number one avenue of opportunity. We talked about the value in those and how the A leads is really what kind of gets you out in the field to see people. And then, like I mentioned, all the rest of these are just, what are we going to do after that? What are we going to do to add additional business, earn an additional income, or earn a larger income without having to even really spend any additional money? And well, referrals would be the next one, I believe. There's multiple ways of getting referrals. One way is when you're solidifying a policy that you just wrote. I'm glad we protected you and your family today, but I've seen the devastation that not having a plan or policy can have on a family when someone dies unexpectedly. Who do you know that if they passed away tomorrow, the family would have to do a GoFundMe, or even worse, ask you for help? Let's help them help themselves. While I'm here, who can we help? I mean, that's it. All you got to do is ask. One thing I know, that if you don't ask, you're not going to get any referrals. And if you walk out without any referrals, well, you're walking away from a lot of free leads. So have the client, and this is something I recommend too, have the client call that person while you're there and offer to see them the same day. I've done it so many times. I'll be sitting there, and because you know what, that person that they're giving you the referral to, there's a possibility that they're not going to answer their phone because they're not going to recognize your number, but they're going to recognize your client's number. They're friends with that person or family. So have them call. And more than likely, they're going to pick up the phone. They can hand the phone over to you. You could talk to the person and say, hey, look, and I'm actually right down the street. How about I swing by right now? We can go over it real quick and you could see if this would bring any value to you and your family members as well. No one is guaranteed tomorrow, so take time to help them while you're in the area. If need be, get their information and set up an appointment for later. Now, another way, and this is a tool that is actually in the agent portal, I believe in the supply section, where you can download this referral sheet. And a lot of our agents are using this and it seems to be working very well. What they will do is while they're in the home and they're filling out the paper application, they'll slide this over to their client and just ask them if they wouldn't mind filling it out real quick. Just, you could even maybe do it after you finish filling out the app, and you're just kind of kicking back and relaxing. And you could just say, you know, this is something that would really help me out. My company actually pays me a bonus every time that I turn one of these in. And you hand it over to them. And really the bonus is you being able to earn additional sales from the referrals. But so anyways, you hand it over to the client, have them fill it out. There's a few questions on there, kind of like survey questions. Did I make you feel comfortable? I sure hope so. You just took out a policy with me. Are you happy with the arrangements we put in place today? Well, I hope so. And if not, we can figure out why you're not while I'm still here. Did I answer all of your questions? Yes or no? Would you recommend me to friends, relatives, or neighbors? And then from there, there's the spot. Who do you know? Name, relationship, phone number. And right there, I mean, there's room for 6, 7, 8 referrals. So that's another way, very nonchalantly, you can ask for referrals. If you're afraid to just come out and ask for names, this could be a way to handle it. If they fill it out, they don't really give you any names, maybe then bring it up and say, well, is there anybody else you know? I saw you put one person down, but why don't we go through your phone? Who else do you know? Why don't we go through your friends on Facebook? I bet there's a lot of people you know on there. That's another way too. I've done that in the past too. I will have my clients promote me on their own Facebook. I'll tell them, while I'm here, why don't you let your friends know what you just did? Let them know you just took out a policy with me and you're real happy. And they'll post and say, hey, you need to call my insurance man, Adam. He was very helpful. He was able to get me a policy for a very affordable price. And I think he could help you too. And again, you can get free leads by doing that. And to me, that's just another way of generating referrals. So the new policy delivery and review. This is something that's kind of unique because it's something that a lot of people never even considered to do. What our agents have been doing, a lot of them, they've been, after they write the policy. Now, remember, it takes a good probably 2 to 3 weeks from the time the first payment comes out for the client to receive their policy in the mail. So I would recommend about maybe 3 to 4 weeks after you write the policy or after you know that premium had been drafted, I'd recommend to go back to your client, and they should have their policy on hand. And at that time, you can go through the policy with them. And you, again, the initial visit, you can even let them know. They can even call you when they got their policy to let you know, and then you can come by to look at it. But a lot of times the client's not going to remember to call you when they get the policy, or they might just think you're busy and not want to worry about bothering you. But but then you can just drop back. I wouldn't even call. I would just drop back just like you did on the initial visit. Drop back, just say, hey, Mary, Adam, remember me? I was over a month ago. I just wanted to make sure you got your policy, and I was in the area and wanted to maybe sit down and review it with you real quick. So when reviewing their policy, make sure all the information is correct: the name, address, beneficiary, social security number, and then also let them know that they were pre-approved for a higher face amount. So let's just say you wrote a $10,000 policy on the person, but they actually qualify for up to $35,000 because they qualified for preferred while we were there. So Mrs. Jones, you were actually pre-approved for up to 35,000. Do you want to take care of that today? Because I know that in time, as years go on, the cost of funerals are going to continue to go up. And, at least then you'll feel comfortable to know that even years down the road, you'll have enough coverage. And we are experiencing that 2 out of 5 of the clients that we go back and visit with after the initial visit are actually taking out additional coverage. They might not take out the full 35,000, but they might add another 5 to 10,000 because now they have proof that what you were there in the initial visit is actually happening. We took some of their money, they received a policy. Now maybe they feel a little more comfortable. They know that you're legit, and maybe now they feel more comfortable with adding additional coverage. So just like I mentioned, another great avenue of opportunity. And there's so many times where agents will write that first piece of business and that client never hears from that person ever again. They make the sale, they move on to the next. They never go back and visit with their clients. And I mean, like I said, with inflation, year by year, the cost of funerals are going to continue to go up. So even if they don't take out additional coverage after that initial visit, or the 30 days after the initial visit, I would recommend to still get in touch with your clients annually and run them just like leads. Put your existing policyholders in your stack of leads. When you're in that area, drop by and do what you can to help them get additional coverage after they have had their policy. Like I said, if it doesn't work on your 30-day review, go back in about a year and try it again. People's lives change, and what was not important to somebody right now, their health might change too. And now they might be a little bit more worried that they can't get additional coverage after a year or so. So you can always go back after a year, and maybe their health has changed and maybe they won't qualify for preferred, but we still might be able to help them with a modified death benefit. The next one, go hunting. Because we can insure 95% of the clients we sit with, disabled clients are another avenue to work. Now, the opportunity here is to present the support family with protection because they are the caregivers of the disabled. So not necessarily just focusing on the disabled person that lives there, but we might be able to write a few policies while we're in the home. So just remember, if an agent from another company sees a wheelchair ramp, a handicap parking sign, or even like an oxygen and use sign, there's a real good chance they're going to turn around and walk right back to their car because their company may not insure that client. Okay, so we will. And so, like I said, it's the avenue is by going up to that house, you don't know what you're going to walk into once you're there. And whether you can help the disabled person or not, it gave you a reason to knock on the door, and you may be able to help them or other people in the home take out additional coverage. And a lot of times when you stop by like that, they may be used to getting turned down, and they'll feel really good if you stop by and let them know that there's a good possibility that we might be able to help them. So it is, for SNL agents, it's a huge opportunity. Most of the time, disabled clients have zero or poor life insurance plans, guaranteed issue policies, and they also seldom get visitors, and they're happy to talk to you. But they many times feel like they are not insurable, but we can show them that there's a good chance and we can still help them. So hi, well, I really wouldn't use a name here because, I'd use my name. Hi, I'm Adam, the benefits coordinator licensed with the state, and we are in the area showing disabled members of the community the benefits they may qualify for. Has anyone in a blue shirt been by yet to help you? More than likely, they're going to say no. Well, I do apologize. It only takes a few minutes to go over the benefits and leave the information with you. Where can we sit? And as I mentioned, because of our underwriting, you'll find that most disabled clients will qualify for preferred, standard, or modified plans. Once you help a disabled client, you'll find that they know other people who you can help as well. So do not ignore this important source of business. So as I mentioned, don't just focus on the disabled, but there very well could be other people in the home as well that you would be able to help. You never know what's going on the other side of that door. I mean, there's people that might have just got back from a funeral that affected them financially. And so many times, and I don't know if we'll have time to get to the cold door knocking today or not, but so many times you knock on a door and agents just think that people are going to slam the door in their face, that they're just going to get rejected left and right. And I've done it, and I feel like maybe it's 50-50. Yeah, you're going to get some mean people that don't want to give you the time of day, but you are also going to get a lot of people that are willing to listen if you know how to do this correctly. So yeah, I feel like going hunting and looking for new opportunities, wheelchair ramps, oxygen signs, very good ways to get into a house. The 3-foot rule. Marketing yourself is the key to your success. The business card is one of the most underutilized tools for getting new clients. Wherever you go, people should know what you do, whether you are at the bank or grabbing lunch or at the gas station or waiting in line at the grocery store. Say hello to the person within 3 feet of you. Introduce yourself and hand them a card and let them know what you do. You never know who was just looking for insurance. I use this for recruiting purposes as well. You never know what that other person's situation may be. Maybe they don't need a policy, but maybe they could use a new opportunity themselves. Maybe they're not happy in their current situation financially. So heck, I mean, and if that's something you don't want to do, well, refer them over to us. We'd be happy to sit down with anybody and see what we can do to help them put them in a better position. But yeah, introduce yourself and hand them a card and let them know what you do. You never know who might be looking for insurance. And remember, statistically, 1 out of 2 people do not have enough insurance to take care of their funeral services. So remember to say hello to 10 strangers every day, and you'll be surprised what you will find out. We miss 100% of the shots we never take. I think that was a quote by, I think maybe Wayne Gretzky. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the truth. You know for sure that you're not going to write business on that person if you don't talk to them and if you don't ask them. But at least if you take a shot, well, there's still a chance that you may be able to do business or earn business with them. The nosy neighbor. If you have repeatedly stopped by a lead without meeting them face to face, one way of gathering information is to talk to the neighbors across the street or next door. Knock on the door and introduce yourself. My name is Adam, and I'm the benefit coordinator for this area. I've been trying to reach Miss Johnson across the street several times and have not been able to catch up with her. I'm just concerned if she's okay. Have you seen her recently? And it's a great way to get information from the people in the neighborhood, and they may be concerned too then, and they may walk over there and maybe pound on the door, maybe go to the back door, maybe knock on some windows to see if that person is actually okay. Or they might know that Miss Johnson is took a trip with her kids. She's on vacation, or maybe she's visiting a relative. Or maybe she just works during the day, or she works long hours and she's only home on the weekends. I mean, it opens up additional questions you can, and some fact finding. I mean, you could even ask, if she's home, what kind of car does she drive? And then you'll know next time you head back over that way, if you're not able to reach her that day, well, now if you see a red Toyota in the driveway and that's what the neighbor said she drives, well, there's a good chance then that she's home. But you can also, good possibility of write a policy on that nosy neighbor. It's so funny. You just bring up what you do. So many times people are going to come back with, wow, that's funny. We were just talking about that. Me and my wife, we were actually, we were talking about taking on an additional policy. What do you got? We don't really have an agent, and we just were thinking about it, and maybe we could put something together today. So I mean, it kind of coincides with that last one of letting people know what you do, but it's also going to help you with the current leads that you're working and getting as much information out of the people in the neighborhood to make your job easier when you'll head back around. And, as it says here, you'll be amazed by the information that you are able to gather. Once you do gather that important information, give a business card to the neighbor, let them know that you're in the area taking care of everyone's final expense needs, and ask if they need your help. Also, before you leave the area, once again, this is a numbers game. You will be amazed how many people will say we were just talking about that, as I mentioned. Current policy holders. And this is another one. One of the biggest mistakes we make as agents is not contacting service or reviewing our current policyholders. Often we've underinsured them in the beginning, or their plans have changed. And if they're younger, they are subject to increasing funeral costs 20 or 30 years from now. They may not have enough to pay for a plot opening and closing, vault, or marker. I would say that whatever they're paying right now, or however much the cost of a funeral is going to be today, it's going to be double in 20 years. So if they have a $10,000 policy, they're going to need $20,000 20 years down the road. So that's, again, why it's very important to keep up with your clients. And remember, they maybe could have only afforded at the initial visit what you were able to sell them. As time goes on, though, their situation changed. They may have just retired and lost their group term policy through work, and now they need more coverage. They also, I found too, a lot of times people just get comfortable with their bills, and in time, maybe other stuff is paid off. Maybe they used to have a car payment that they no longer have, and now they have additional money that they are able to afford taking out additional coverage now. But the point is, if you don't stay in touch with your clients, another insurance company will. Maybe this is another reason why I haven't had a policy replaced in 7 years, because I keep up with my clients. And I go back and I talk to them, and they know that they're more than just a number to me. They're a person, and they know that I care about them and that I'm there to help them. So again, this is not only going to help you write additional business, I think it'll also help you when it comes to having a very good first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and on persistency average percentage. So keep records of your clients. I recommend every time you write an application, if you don't have like either like Google Drive or OneDrive or Dropbox, you need to get one of those, because what you can do is you can scan like a paper application into your phone, and then you could save it to your Google Drive or one of those other cloud data storage services. And what I do is I create a folder for that client with their last name first, and then I'll put a comma, and then I'll put their first name. And then I can always search for their name and find their application and go through it whenever I need it. Or if I want to go back in a year and write them additional coverage, I can go back, I can find it, I can print out that application, and I'll treat it just like a lead, and I'll go back out and I'll door knock it. But yeah, keep up with your business, keep track of your clients, because that's information that can definitely help you. If your client calls you and they have a question about their policy and they're not quite sure about something, well, if you could just get on your Google Drive and type in their last name and find the application, they might just be wondering who their beneficiary is. Just something as simple as that, where then you don't have to mess with calling the home office to figure that out. You have that information right then and there. But visit your clients annually to review and update their coverage, and send out birthday and holiday cards. I also recommend, even if you run over to like one of the office stores like Office Depot or Staples, get some magnetic business cards. You can get them made professionally through like Vistaprint, but what you can do is you can buy just the backing of the magnet with like a sticker, and you can stick your business card right on it. And I think that that's really good too. When you write a policy, take that magnet business card, put it right on the refrigerator. And that way it's going to be right in front of them. They're always going to see you. If they need you, they know how to get in touch with you. And you know what else? I'm sure there's other people that are going to be in and out of their house that are going to see your business card as well. So free advertisement right in front of your clients and their family and friends. So great source for referrals for the future. Group presentations. And this is something too, like, and again, remember, these are all in addition to working leads. Make leads your primary source to focus on, and think of all of this other stuff as just additional bonuses, additional business that you're going to write outside of the leads. But group presentations are very good. If you ever have a lead that's in a high rise, I always recommend to go down and talk to the building manager or event coordinator and try to schedule up a time to do a presentation for the residents there. And all you need to tell that event coordinator is that you host events and they're really fun, and that you usually do a raffle, and you raffle off different gift cards to different restaurants and stuff, and you bring snacks, and that's all they really care about. You bring in some snacks. I mean, you could pick up a tray of cookies and a case of water, and then I would also purchase maybe a $25 gift card to a local restaurant. And then you can raffle that gift card off at the presentation. And what I use is the, what do they call that? It's is it the final expense? No, it's the Peace of Mind brochure. If you go into the supply section on our website, it's called the Peace of Mind brochure. It's like a trifold, and there's a perforated part on there where you can rip a card out. It's like a postage paid card where somebody could see that, they could fill it out, they could put it in their mailbox, and then that would be sent back to our home office and a lead would be created. Well, what I use it for, I'll hand that Peace of Mind trifold out at these public events, and I'll let them know that we're going to be doing a raffle, and I'll hand out a bunch of pens, and I'll have them fill out their information on that postcard, and that is their raffle ticket. So then and on that, it's going to have their name, their address, their phone number, their age. And I just created a lead. So I might have 40 or 50 people that show up at this event. More than likely, the chances of you writing a piece of business there are okay. You might write maybe 1 or 2 applications while you're there at the event. But the way you're going to maximize your success is by doing this with a raffle. And then now you created a good 40 or 50 leads of all the people that showed up, because everybody wants to win that gift card. So now I got 40 leads in this high rise. I'm going to get in that building and I'm going to start knocking doors. Hey, Mrs. Jones, remember me? You were at the presentation the other day. I was back in here visiting with some of the other residents. And I just figured while I was here, maybe I could stop by to give you a quick quote. It'll take about 5 minutes. And I would say 90% of the time, unless they have something going on, they'll let you in and they'll at least let you put a quote together for them. But it's a great way to get a lot of leads for $25, maybe $5 for a tray of cookies and $5 for a case of water. So it costs you $35 for 40 to 50 leads. And you might have even made a few sales on that initial presentation. Flea markets are also good. You can set up a table at a flea market and hand out some goodies. We have pens that you can order. We have these magnetic bag clips that you can order on the website. I think there's other stuff. You just talk to marketing, see what they have that they could send you. And while you're there, walk around, have your SNL shirt on and hand stuff out to people with your business card and information about the company. And again, great way to earn additional business. And then we have our door hangers. The door hangers, another great way. I think we might have enough time to get through all these, so I'm just going to keep going. The door hangers, I don't recommend ordering a door hanger. And if you're door knocking leads, you don't want to leave a door hanger on the house of a lead, because then I kind of look at it as, well, they just won. They might have been home They might have been staring out the window, wondering who's coming to my door. And you left that. Now they know who you are. They know you're an insurance man. And there's a good chance that they just might not want to be sold. And every time you come back, they're going to remember who you are and they're not going to answer the door. So don't leave a door hanger on the house of a lead, but leave, leave these maybe 3 or 4 or 5 houses around that lead. And I mean, how long would that take? You walk off the porch of the house that wasn't home, and you drop these off at 4 or 5 houses around that lead. It'll start to add up over time. Another thing you can do, and I'll get to that in a minute, another thing you can do, but as you can see, they're pretty reasonable. 500 of these for $75, 250 of them for $37.50. They're 15 cents a piece. So you really can't beat it. So another thing you could do, you could wake up an hour early. Let's say you have a 10 o'clock appointment. Well, you could drive out to your appointment, and I bet you your appointment, if they filled out a lead card, there's a real good chance other people in that neighborhood are in the same situation and maybe looking for a policy too, and not really know who to turn to get it. So get out there an hour early, go up and down the street and try to knock out 100 of those a day. And if you're in an area where those houses are close together, I bet you could get that done in about maybe an hour, hour and a half. So if you figure 500 of those a week would cost you $75, and even a 1% return would mean that you got 5 leads. So that means those 5 leads cost you $15 a piece. I think this is low end. I think you should be able to write more than 2 out of 5. These are very qualified leads. When they send these back, people know what this is about. They know it's about insurance. They know that it's something that they're going to have to pay for. They know it's not a free government benefit. So I think you'll probably close at least 3 or 4 out of 5. But I would rather show you low numbers than high. I'd rather set low expectations. And then when you go out there and you crush it, you'll be happy. But 2 sales, figure that would accumulate to about what? $1,300 annualized premium. So you put 500 of those out there a week, there's a chance that you could write $5,200 a month. All right. In premium, just by taking a little bit of extra time. So what we say, $75. So it would cost you $300 if you ordered those every single week. $300 total for the month, $75 a week. And you could generate an additional $5,200 in premium. So you're spending $300 to make $5,000. I mean, heck, I would do that over and over again. Over the course of 50 weeks, that's an additional $67,600 in annualized premium that you're going to write. And it'll be good exercise going up and down the block, putting those out there, especially this time of year. I mean, I'm in the Chicagoland area in the wintertime. I mean, I would still do it. I don't care. The cold doesn't scare me, but at least in the summertime, nobody has an excuse. It's nice out. Go up and down the block, put these door hangers out. And I mean, you'll be surprised the type of return you get and the additional premium that you could end up putting up. So let's talk about cold door knocking. More people would do cold door knocking. And you know what? The reason people don't is because it's hard. And I always tell people, you know what? Well, I know cold door knocking is hard, but if you don't have money for leads and you're struggling and you're broke, I think being broke is harder than taking that time to going out there and knocking on doors. So, I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. I mean, I was in a situation like that when I was 23 years old. I was completely overfinanced with the company that I was with. They wouldn't send me any more leads. And it was getting to the point where I was pretty low on funds. I didn't have money to purchase leads. So it was like, okay, well, I've only been doing this a year. I could quit and take the easy way out and go find a 9-to-5 job and earn an income where someone else is going to tell me how much money I'm going to make the rest of my life. Or I could figure out a way to put myself back in a better situation. And that's what I did. I picked on a neighborhood. I started knocking on doors, and I knew sooner or later all it would take would be that one person that would let me in to make that sale. I'd earn that commission. I'd be right back to be able to start buying leads. and doing it the easy way. So, but honestly, I kind of feel like you could just focus on cold door knocking if you really wanted to and earn a very good income. We tested this last year and we found that every 40 doors that you knock on should accumulate to one sale. And you could knock on 20 doors in an hour. So figure if you knock on 100 doors a day, and remember, if you could knock on those 100 doors a day and if people aren't home, you could also leave one of those door hangers. But you knock on 100 doors a day, you should be able to generate an average of 2.5 sales a day. You could generate $1,625 a day in annualized premium with zero expense for leads. Do that for 5 days a week. You would write $8,125 of annualized premium. 50 weeks out of the year, doing it the hard way. Well, was it worth it if you wrote over 400,000 in premium? So I'm telling you, I mean, even the owner and CEO of my prior company, he was an older guy. He used to call me, I would say once a month, and he encouraged me to do this. He encouraged me. He called it a neighborhood enrollment. He said, just get out there and do some neighborhood enrollments and get back to me. Let me know if it works. And every month I would call him and say, you know what? You were right. I actually generated some additional sales this month from taking some time to knock on some cold doors. If you're in the right area, you know that majority of the people within that area are on a limited income. And a lot of times too, you might know an area where maybe the people are a little bit older. A majority of the people in that neighborhood are seniors. I mean, the neighborhood I grew up, I mean, a lot of the people that bought those homes are now into their 60s, into their 70s. And so that's kind of what happens. People, they purchase their home, they might end up living there forever. So figure out areas like that and focus on those and find people that would be willing to talk to you. And yeah, like I said, doing it the hard way. But to me, heck, for that kind of money, why not? Why not try it? Why not take maybe a whole week and try it and just go up and down the block all day, every day? And like I said, yeah, it's hard. And yeah, you're going to get rejected more than you're going to get accepted. But all it takes is that 1 out of 40 and, 2 out of 80, 2.5 out of 100. And you're going to earn a very good income, even without leads. So if you combine what we talked about, combination of referrals, cold door knocking, door hangers, that could accumulate to about 12 sales a week, and you should generate about 30 referrals, maybe even more. Like I said, I'd rather show you low than high. And the door hangers, an additional 2 sales a week, an additional 5 referrals. It gets to the point where if you're getting those kind of referral numbers from your sales, it's going to get to the point where you're not even going to have to purchase leads. So then the last avenue of opportunity is the car magnets. And this is something that my dad actually got me into. My dad, he's been in the business since before I was born. And, when I remember about maybe 10 years ago, he ordered us both some magnets. I had them on my car. He had them on his car, and people would reach out to us. He actually told me about 6 weeks ago, he was actually just sitting in like a parking lot, like at the Forest Preserve, making phone calls, and people were walking around. There's all these trails. People are walking around, and someone walked right up to his car. They saw the magnet on the back of his car, and they said, "Oh, you sell insurance? Me and my wife actually need that. Could we maybe set up an appointment with you for later this week?" And I think he wrote a policy on those 2 people. It was like over $150 a month in premium. It was a very nice commission. And those magnets cost him like maybe $30 a piece. So just another avenue. Why not advertise yourself while you're out in the field? When you're in those areas, people will see those magnets, and there's a chance that you'll get some phone calls, or people might walk right up to you and ask you. You might even write an app while you're out there, while sitting in your car. So I definitely, and I think Vistaprint too is one that you can get these made, and they're pretty reasonable. I don't have an exact price, but why not? Just another way to generate additional business. So just remember, in closing, A-leads are and always will be the number one building block for your business. But you need to be fluent in all these other avenues of opportunity to be profitable and successful in this business. It's going to turn a good agent into a great agent by taking that extra step and not just focusing on the leads, but doing that little bit extra. So I hope this information was useful to you, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any other questions, if you need anything, or any other member of our management team. And good luck. I hope you have a great week, and good luck out there. Thanks again.